Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. What a glorious day. Look at the sky. Now, for all of us in the UK, these days at the moment are very rare. It has been horrible. We've had nothing but wind and rain since about August. And of course, today I decided there's not much happening in the garden because of the weather. I'll do a house tour. And we woke up to this beautiful day. Anyway, I shall do a house tour nonetheless. So I thought I'd start outside at the back of the house, just to show you general layout. Now, everything to the right of the garden room, in other words, those two windows, the door and that window, that is the entire original house. That is all there was. It was a two-up, two-down end house. And we built this double-storey extension with a garden room. Oh, we didn't build the midge. We didn't build you, did we? It was very tentative coming towards me, thinking, why is Mummy talking to herself? So that was an extension that we put on 24 years ago, goodness me. And that is the original house. So we'll go inside. I won't do anything much in the garden. I might do a garden video next week if we get another dry day. You never know. So up the steps, excuse me, Midge. We'll go into the kitchen. Go into the back door. The back is much nicer than the front, to be honest. It's not much at the front. Just more or less onto the street. So, you can see me. Hello. So this, I'll turn so we're not in the sunlight, preferably. This is the kitchen, which we had refitted 5 years ago. Yes, about 5 years ago. So originally this was a kitchen diner. So this part was a kitchen, and then this bit, there was a radiator under the window, a big double radiator. I'm trying to zoom in. Let me zoom out and let me zoom in. Which we took away because we don't need a radiator in here. South facing, as you can see, the sun streams in here. Any sun we get at all, it streams in here. So we got rid of the radiator and we had a little table in this corner, and we had all these extra cupboards fitted and extra cupboards fitted here, because we now have a dining room. We don't need to sit in here to eat, and I love this kitchen. I really do. I think it's timeless. Shaker style is always timeless. I haven't tidied up, by the way, before I filmed this. I probably should have done, shouldn't I? Never mind. So it is a raw Saturday morning video of what the kitchen looks like. I love these shelves, these floating shelves. I think they're really nice. I love the Belfast sink. I always wanted a Belfast sink. The only thing we didn't get in here that I wanted was a pull-out a pull-out larder unit. But apparently there are rules about how much space you have between your hob and your oven and your fridge freezer, and there really wasn't anywhere to put it. With hindsight and 5 years on, the only thing I wish we hadn't bothered to do was this breakfast bar, simply because we don't need it. We don't really use it. It's very nice, nice stools. Sit on it occasionally. If my husband's cooking, I might sit and chat. But if we hadn't have put this in where it is, we could have had a larger cupboard here, with a larder unit. Excuse the boxes. Don't normally have boxes out. As you can see, we've bought some new solar lights for the garden. But it hasn't been the weather to go and put them up when my husband's had a day off, so they're still sat there waiting. But other than that, it's a very, very small regret, because, you know, there is a cupboard as well, so, you know, it's not just sat there wasted. So it's fine. And it would, I think, as well open the kitchen up a little bit. It seems a little bit of I don't really do feng shui, but it sort of sticks out into the room, and I think it would open up the middle of the kitchen a bit more. Anyway, it is what it is. this lovely, lovely wide windowsill is fabulous for gardening, for starting my seeds off. I've just potted up some more tomatoes that seeded nicely. So, oh, excuse the noise outside. So I've got some tomatoes doing nicely in there. This one isn't quite big enough to pot on, and his little friend there, look, is only just peeping through. So I'll leave those two a bit longer before I pot them in individually. The potatoes are chitting nicely, my first earlies. They'll be going in probably next week. The first ones. Should do them a couple of weeks apart. And I'll start chitting my second earlies. And I've just planted this morning some sweet corn. Can't really see in this light. There's 4 pots of sweet corn and 3 pots of Brussels sprouts. I've also done some carrots, and they are in the greenhouse. I'll briefly show you those. We're not supposed to be doing gardening, are we? But at the back there. And sweet peas, sunflowers, peas and beans. And down at the bottom, I've got my begonias, not the begonias, my dahlias. Started them and tried to wake them up a bit. So yeah, so that's it. That's the kitchen. This painting is one that my daughter did when she was about 5. And even at the time we were quite impressed because she'd got the reflections of the little boats in the water and the birds, and the perspective was very good, and we should have known then she was going to go on to be creative. And then she did go to art school. So I just think that's so cute. So we framed it, and I have that up in here. It used to be, I think it would belong to her granny and granddad. I remember we gave it to them originally, and they had a holiday home at the coast, and they had it there because it was a seaside themed picture, and we've got it back now because they're not with us anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, so that's the kitchen. Oh, I did get this oven as well, which I'd always wanted. I wanted an eye level oven. Our previous oven was under the hob, so where these drawers are. And as you get older, bending and what have you, so I'd like one, an eye level oven. So we've got the microwave, that's the microwave. You don't see me. But this is a hide and slide. Like they have on Bake Off. Gosh, I didn't realise how dirty these are. Could do with a scrub with a bit of wire wool. So I love that. And the fridge freezer is here, which is nice to have it integrated, but it isn't as big. You don't get as much in as you do an ordinary fridge freezer. And over here, that's a Welsh Love spoon with mine and Andrew's names on, which we got on our second wedding anniversary, our wooden wedding anniversary. It was handcrafted in Wales, and I do like that. It's lovely. I have my Celtic Wheel of the Year, which as a gardener, as you know, I follow it. It makes so much more sense. We are currently coming up to the end of the first month of Imbolc. First month of spring, nearly over. And here we have a thermometer. I could test you now and say, what is it that it's set into? Does anybody know? Now, if you're from the north of England, you would know immediately. It's actually a shuttle from a loom. And it came from the mill that my father worked at for 51 years. And he got given it when he retired. They made it into a thermometer. And I have it on the wall. I like it very much. So this now is the dining room. So originally this was the lounge. So the doors over there weren't there. That was a solid wall, outside wall. And you came through the front door and you were straight into the lounge. And when we first had the extension built, we couldn't afford any furniture in here. We couldn't afford a dining table and a sideboard, which we now have. The china cabinet we bought, that's second hand anyway, and I think we had that in the lounge originally. But we couldn't afford a dining table or anything like that. So we had this as our daughter's playroom. She was about 4 when we had the extension built. And so we had a little TV in the corner, we had an easy chair in here so we could sit with her. And she had a little table and chairs, a little pine table and chairs for playing on and doing her crafts because she has always been creative and liked to make things. And she had a little shop, like most children, and a kitchen at one side and a shop at the other. And she also had, what was the other? Well, like an easel that stood on the floor for her to do her paintings and drawings. And we got her on Christmas. She got a doll's house, which we still have. So she had all these things in here in her playroom. But since she's outgrown the playroom, it's now become a sort of entrance hall, vestibule, come dining room. If we wanted to be pretentious, we could say it was a dining hall, couldn't we? But yes, and we do use it. We use it every night. We eat our meals every night. It isn't just a room we use on special occasions. If I'm on my own, I might not use it, which is sometimes I might have my evening meal on my own. But if there's Andrew and I are together, or if Hannah's here, or whatever, we use it. And some pictures on the walls. This is actually a sewing picture. The Church by the Sea at Heysham, and this was sewn by Andrew's granny. Don't know what year. So we have that on the wall, and this is one of Andrew's granddad's paintings. He was a very good artist, was Andrew's granddad. He went to art college as well. I'm assuming Hannah perhaps got her gift from him, although my uncle was also an artist, so she has it from both sides. It just completely missed Andrew and I out. That isn't the best picture actually, but that's one of the ones. I'll show you some of the better ones later. They're on the stairs as we go up the stairs. So we've got quite a lot of paintings by Andrew's granddad. Through here we have the lounge. We're quite traditional in our style, as you can see. We like traditional style furnishing and traditional wooden furniture. We do have some painted furniture. These pictures were done by a friend of ours' daughter, who was also an artist. And there are two previous cats we had. That's Letty on the left, the calico, and that's William, who unfortunately lived to be 9, and he had a massive stroke and he passed away. But Letty, she lived to be 17 and a half. And then we got our little dog, who I'll show you a picture of her later, who we had for nearly 13 years. Part of the time while we still had Letty. And then we got our current 2 cats, Mungo and Midge. That's a cross stitch that I did. I started it when I was pregnant with Hannah because we were having a Beatrix Potter themed nursery, and I think when I finished it she was about 6 or 7, so it never went in the nursery, and it's up here instead. Excuse me, it's making my arms ache. That's also an original watercolour that I bought from an art exhibition rather, painted by a local artist. It's actually a picture of Scorby, which is over near Scarborough. But I bought that with when Grandma passed away. I got left a little bit of money, and I thought I don't want to just put it in the bank and pay a bill with it. I want to buy something to remember her by, and I bought this. So, and these are two paintings that Andrew's granddad did. He often did the Lake District. He did a lot of the Lake District, Scotland. Did that one and that top one. I like that's beautiful, isn't it? That's Scotland, I think. It's the camera's making the pictures look like they're on a slant. They're not. I assure you, they're straight. They are straight, definitely. And yes, I said I'd show you the portrait we have done of. Oh, it's over here. I've moved it. I've forgotten I've moved it. Excuse all my books. I love my books. I keep thinking I might do tour my bookshelves or look at my books or recommended reads or something. I might do at some point anyway. And that's a portrait in the corner there that we have painted again by a local artist, and that's our little dog Jessie. So there we are. So yeah, so that's the sitting room. It's not a bad size, but we have a lot of stuff in it. We do like stuff. I mean, my husband has a collection. He collects cast iron, what they're called, cast metal cars. Quite expensive actually. Some of them are about £100 each. So he has them in there. That's my niece when she was little. And we had 2 armchairs and a sofa. That's my daughter when she was little. The wood burner. Just, well, you probably know if you've seen my previous videos, we had it redecorated about a year ago. So, but yeah, I do like traditional things, little cabinets. I don't want to paint those. I think if I painted them in a creamy colour, to go with the top of the coffee table, they'd just blend into the wall anyway too much, wouldn't they? Oh, here's another midge. Is it too chilly in there, darling? Look at the mess you've made with your toys. Like I say, I didn't tidy up before we started. It's a TV, which most people would say, oh, that's not a very big TV. I think it's too big. In fact, if I had my way, we wouldn't have a TV at all, really. I'm not a big TV viewer. Having said that, we've got one in here as well in the garden room, but it's a small one. I know it sounds pretentious when we call it the garden room rather than a conservatory, but that is how it was sold to us. It's a garden room. It has a solid roof. I know we had a new roof fitted, but if before we had this roof put on last year, it had a solid roof, and the ceiling, the windows are floor to ceiling. So it isn't technically a conservatory. But I know when I say to people, oh, let's sit in the garden room, they think I'm being really pretentious. I'm not. That is what it is. Oh, you're back again. You're finding all the sunny spots. So, yeah, so this is the dresser that I used to have in the kitchen. And we moved it, well, it went into the lounge behind the sofa. And then I said, I want to move it into the conservatory. Oh, because we do still really call it conservatory, garden room. So it's now in here, and I think it looks great in here. I love it in here, and I painted it. It was pine. Again, I bought it second hand about 30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago. We had I don't know if it's a nationwide thing, or I don't think it's in existence now. It's like the equivalent of Facebook Marketplace back in the day, and it was called Yeller, Yeller, Yeller. People advertised things, second-hand furniture and things for sale. And it was advertised in there, and it was local to me. And I went to have a look at it, and the lady who was selling it, her husband had made it back in the 60s when they became a thing to people wanted a Welsh dresser, and he made it. It was pine, as I say, a bit of an orangey pine, but I lived with it like that until quite recently, and then I painted it and changed the knobs, and it just shows the difference it makes if you do. And I mean, 30 years ago, I think I paid £25 for it, which wasn't a lot even then. And there's some cast iron stands, in keeping with it being supposedly a garden room. Put plants on. Got my little stove, which is electric, but it packs out some heat if I sit in here. And I'm going to sit in here later, actually. It's quite warm here. And then I've shown you before the rocking chair that we had recovered. Again, last year, I think that was. And that's one of Midge's favourite spots, isn't it, Midge? I'm not opening the door. We're not going to play out in the garden. It's not that kind of weather yet. And a little TV. Oh, and I painted these drawers as well. These were teak. And it was part of a bedroom suite that my husband brought with him when he came here. I had a couple of chest drawers, bedside cabinets. And so I painted them again, changed the knobs to match the dresser. And it's fine. It keeps all the tablecloths and placemats and napkins and things like that in it. And then the sofa, which reclines. So, yeah, I put a traditional sofa rather than a rattan or something like that, something that was more comfortable, because probably come the beginning of March, if it's decent enough, I will decamp into here and spend most of my time in here, to be honest, as opposed to in here. It's like a summer sitting room, and this is my winter sitting room. So, I shall take you upstairs. Now, I'm going to do a warts and all tour, because I know a few times I've gone upstairs and said, oh, I've gone into the bedroom, but I haven't shown you my daughter's bedroom because it's such a mess. And it's even more of a mess now than it was before, because she's still in the process of moving out. There's stuff everywhere. Anyway, I'm going to show you it. That's another painting Andrew's granddad did. That's beautiful, isn't it? I'm not sure if that's the Lake District or Scotland, to be honest with you. Does it say? Oh, it's in Wales, Snowdonia. It's in Snowdonia, is that? It's beautiful, isn't it? And these paintings, I don't know if you'll be able to see them in this, because it's quite, there's no window as such here. Watch me fall down the stairs. Oh, it's reflecting, isn't it? This one might be better. Can you see this one? Not very well, really, can you? But this one is a stunner. It's Bolton Abbey. And you know, back in the day, in the 20s and 30s, you used to have railway posters promoting places to visit. It's a design for that. It says at the bottom, look, design for poster. Now, this was something he did at art college for his certificate or whatever he was studying for, the Artist's Paradise. And we found this and that one and 3 or 4 other smaller ones, and they were just rolled up and wrapped in newspaper on the top of a wardrobe in Andrew's auntie's house, and we cleared it out and she went into care. And we were absolutely stunned when we saw how beautiful they were. So we had them framed. Cost a lot to have them framed, but what a waste to have them just on the top of the wardrobe. And this is another one of Grandad Cyril's. Not sure where that's of. Does it say? Probably does, but I'm not tall enough to read it. Could be Wales as well. And this one he didn't do. This was bought as a wedding present for us, Selby Abbey. So I don't know who painted that, but he didn't. Right, are you ready? Are you ready for this awful room that I'm briefly going to show you? It's a nice room, it's just a bit of a mess. That's an understatement, it's a lot of a mess, as you can see. Oh, there's a pussycat. Hey, Mungo. You don't mind it being a mess, do you, sweetheart? As you can see, there's piles of all sorts. She is slowly sorting through. She's a crafter, as I've said. She does a lot of crochet and knitting and cross stitch. She's taken, I think, all the cross stitches. She had 2 shells full of cross stitches. They've gone. But she's still got a lot of wool here. She started taking some of the wool up here. But as you can see, there's a lot more. I must show you this. I think it's amazing. It's not finished. Look at this. Isn't that fabulous? Anybody out there who's a crocheter? She's crocheting this. Obviously, it's obvious what it is. Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, and it's going to be longer than that when it's finished. But I think it's stunning. If she ever sold that, it would cost a fortune. It's beautiful. I think so anyway, but maybe I'm biased. But yes, how much of this stuff is going? I don't know. Obviously, I would like it all to go, because we want to turn this into a guest room. Paint that out. She was a goth in her teenage years. I mean, now she would still consider herself a goth, but she doesn't. She's not as much of a goth, shall we say, but she still likes dark colours. She doesn't wear pink and bright colours and things like that, does she, Mungo? No. Is it a comfy bed? Yes. He says it is. It is a comfy bed, actually. I've slept in it myself. It's very good. So, yes. So, we'll very quickly... Suitcase. We'll get out of here very quickly, because it is a mess. It is a mess. But I want to turn it into a guest room. This is one of the bookcases I want to move into there. It's at the top of the stairs. Because that's the loft, but we don't have a ladder inside. And we want to get a ladder, because Andrew now, he stands on top of this bookcase and swings himself up into the loft. He's 63, and I keep saying you shouldn't be doing that at your age. So we want to get a proper loft ladder. So this will be in the way if we do. We need to move it. Gosh, I've been talking 24 minutes. I better hurry up and shut up. Bathroom, I think you've seen before. Bathroom is a bathroom. Well, it isn't a bathroom actually, technically, is it? It's a shower room, because we had the bath removed. We had this done about 6 years ago, and we did have a bath there with a shower over. And as we're future-proofing the house, generally we thought we'd get rid of the bath and have a big shower, which is great. I love the big shower. I do miss my bath. Think really long and hard before you get rid of your bath, because there are times when I've been in the garden all day and I ache, if I've got a cold, or just in winter, and you just think, oh, I just love a nice warm bath. So I just make the most of baths if we go on holiday and there's a bath in the hotel or in the cottage we've rented, and I use it there. But yeah, it does make it look a bit bigger because it's a tiny room. Bathrooms tend to be tiny in this country, don't they? Then this room is the third bedroom, really. We again pretentiously call it the study, simply because it has bookcases and a desk. But it was the original second bedroom before we had the extension built. So the bedroom that I've just shown you that's Hannah's was the master. And this, whatever you are, be a good one. Very true. This was the smaller bedroom where she slept as a baby. It was the nursery. So nobody sleeps in it now. It isn't a bedroom. It's just, I don't know, like I say, we call it the study. It has a very large wardrobe in it, which is useful for coats and things. It's a nice wardrobe, actually. And it's at the back of the house, looks over the garden. And it has a couple of bookcases in it, except that's got DVDs on it, which we brought upstairs because we don't watch DVDs very much. As does that, and that has a few of my books on that I haven't got room for downstairs. Excuse me. As does this one. A classics collection and most of the non-fiction that I have. So yeah, and this is useful because this was a cupboard the hot water tank was in, but we don't have a hot water tank now. We have a combination boiler, so you have this wonderful storage cupboard, which is a great place to put cat baskets and toilet rolls, window vacs. That's another of the drawers I was telling you about that were Andrew's. They're 2 bedside cabinets, which I am eventually going to move into the guest room. I'm going to paint them. And the Hoover, of course. Yeah, you need somewhere for your Hoover and your ironing board, don't you, Midge? You do, yes. And then it leads through to the extension, the other part of the extension, which is now the master bedroom. And we're very, very lucky. We've got a nice big master bedroom. It's actually the same size as the living room, which is below it. And we had this redecorated about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So these wardrobes were fitted when the extension was built, so they were like 24 years old. Pine, as was the fashion at the time. So we had them repainted. Had them repainted in cream, replaced the knobs, and these knobs are the same as the ones on the dresser downstairs, and gave them a new lease of life. The same with these drawers. These were all pine, so they've all been repainted. It's a wonderful big window. See what a lovely big window it is. Three windows. So it goes front to back basically, and then you've another window there that looks out the front. And the bed, 4-poster, so we don't have the curtains on anymore. We've got a bit claustrophobic with curtains on it, to be honest with you. Now this bed, along with those drawers, the 2 bedside cabinets, the chaise lounge that's at the end of the bed, and the large wardrobe, which is now through there in the other room, I won them, can you believe, in a competition in a magazine. I won them. I was absolutely gobsmacked. It was just one of those where they tell you the answer to the question in the blurb in the article, and you just answer a question, send it on a postcard. That's how long ago it was. And I got a phone call because I'd won. I was amazed. And that's what I won. It's by Lombok. So you can Google Lombok. I think it's in Thailand, is Lombok. And they do really, really nice furniture. The mirror is an antique one I found. It looks as if it matches, but it didn't come with the drawers. Yeah, and it's a very nice bed, but we've had 2 or 3 different mattresses on it over the years. The mattress we've got on it at the moment is, I believe, 18 months, 2 years we've had it. Not long. So it's fine for now. I'm going to probably move this as well, because this TV doesn't work. Or it doesn't work very well, and I never watch it anyway. and I hung on to the cabinet that was also repainted. See, my daughter wanted it. She doesn't really need it, so I'm going to move that probably into the other bedroom as well. Don't know what I'll use it as, but so you could just put nice plants on it, I suppose, couldn't you? Anyway, there you go. Half an hour I've been waffling on for half an hour. So we're done. That is the end of the house tour. It's not a big house. It's big enough for us. It managed for 3 of us, and it certainly now will manage for 2 of us. Part of me sometimes goes through a phase where I think, I want to move. I want to get another place. I want somewhere with a bigger garden or a quieter place, somewhere more rural. And then I look at what I've got and I look at the amount of time, money and effort it's cost to make it the way it is. And I don't know whether I can bring myself to do it. So, and I would really miss my garden. I really, really would miss my garden. As you all know, it's my pride and joy. I love it. So, we'll see. We will see. That's it from above. So all you can see is my reflection. So I think that'll do for now, don't you? I'm talking too long. So I'll leave you with these words of wisdom. Andrew's mum bought that for Hannah when she was doing her GCSEs. Encourage her that it doesn't matter, whatever you are, as long as you are good at what you do. And hopefully see you next week with another little gardening video. If you've got to the end, thank you very much. Please subscribe, please like. I'm struggling here to get people interested in my channel. Don't know how to promote it. I think I've got 8 followers now, that's gone up a little bit, but it's not going to break any records, is it? Anyway, never mind. I'll see you all later. Have a good day. Bye.